Okay, let's look at this next square over here. The next one is a picture of Joseph and his brothers. So the sons of Jacob, these would be the 12 sons of Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. Now, if you'll notice, Joseph has a long-sleeved garment on. And you know, it was not a work garment. He was the favored son. He was the chosen son. But you know, what the scripture says is that his brothers, they were jealous of him. They rejected him. And indeed, they actually sold him to be a slave, and they took him to Egypt. And, you know, when he was there, he was also persecuted and mistreated for stuff he did not do, for things he did not do. But God showed favor to him. And, you know, it was when he was 30 years old that he got to interpret Pharaoh's dream, that God gave him the wisdom to be able to interpret Pharaoh's dream. And at that point, Pharaoh made him governor of all Egypt. And you know what the scripture says? The scripture says that that he had told Pharaoh what was going to happen. You know, there's going to be 7 years of plenty, and then there's going to be 7 years of famine. And so God gave him wisdom to be able to prepare. But during those 7 years of famine, the scripture says that all the nations were in famine. And do you know what happened? All the nations of the earth had to come to Joseph to receive bread for their life, to sustain their life. And you know, of course, his brothers indeed had to come. They came. They didn't recognize him. You know, he had the Egyptian makeup on, and you know, he had Egyptian hairstyle, and I'm sure he spoke the Egyptian language. They didn't recognize him. They didn't know it was his brother. But on their second visit, and you know, I'm just kind of doing the hand motion for if he had on a wig, because he probably had on a wig, you know, the Egyptian wig, he revealed himself to his brothers. And you know, he said to them, God sent me ahead of you to be a deliverer, to preserve you, to deliver you. Okay, now we know that they all went to Egypt, because that's where Joseph was. He was in Egypt. And you know what? It says the whole family of Israel moved. You know, Jacob and all his 12 sons, they moved to Egypt.